Smart is being healthy. If we are talking as architects, then I think we need to make healthy choices. So the city needs to make healthy choices for healthy citizens. That's our role. Architect's role, I personally feel, is not beautification.
Architect Prasanna Desai obtained his Bachelor of Architecture degree in 1980 and his Masters of Architecture in Urban Design in 1983, both from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. His practice is involved with urban design issues, emphasizing the role of an architect in the public domain. Today's talk is titled Streets for All, Safety, Shade and Society. With that, sir, I would like to hand over the talk to you now.
Thank you, Ayushi. Thank you, Ananya, who has been in touch with me, and all the Students' Council members. I think it is always a privilege and honor to address students of Sirjjcoa College of Architecture. And I was talking to them a while ago, and I said that I shouldn't have accepted this invitation, and I should have held on to it. And then college would have started, and maybe I would have had the opportunity to come to your wonderful heritage campus and maybe share thoughts there directly, looking at your faces and looking at your reactions, because here I am looking at maybe 10 faces out of 80. There were 74, now the crowd is 80. So I'm sure over a period of time, as the match progresses, whether the crowd will increase or it will dwindle will depend whether the match is interesting or it is very boring. So I'm watching at that count. So how does the count change, from 74 to 80 to 78? So whether it will swell or by the time I finish, it will be 50-40 left, So anyway, but Zoom is a medium where we can connect, and I think it has been now accepted as a medium. Having said that, what I'm going to present is something very lateral, let me tell you, very lateral. But what I'm going to present today has nothing to do. It is a common man, common sense talk. That's what I'm going to do. It's a simple common man, common sense talk. I always say that I take off my hat and of degrees, BArch, MArch, there's that. And I will bring to you some harsh realities. One is the harsh realities. Second is some theory. There will be a lot of theory here. There will be a lot of analysis, like you do case studies and all, a lot of case studies. Then there will be some simple solutions. And in the end, I will show you actual demonstrations that how we have been able to achieve it. And this journey has been a long journey. So without going further into it, let us start looking at what we have in store. Okay, so let me just get my act right with share screen. Can you see something on the screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Creating healthy, hygienic human neighborhoods, streets for all, safety, shade, and society. So I will decode this. All this I will decode as we proceed. Now, look at this. There is an Indian Express article in 2015, 7 years ago or whatever, how many years ago, and you are all aware. All of you read newspapers, see news, everything. 7 years ago, everyone saw Delhi's air taking a deadly U-turn, but nobody did anything. All of you know how bad is Delhi in December or what. Landmark studies lies buried. How Delhi's poisonous air is damaging its children for life. Leave Delhi. This is another recent one, 2021, Delhi's air pollution, vehicle emissions, biggest internal contributor to pollution levels. Vehicles account for over 50% pollution in Delhi in early winter, says think tank report. Vehicles cause more than half pollution in Delhi. Contributions to PM levels, 2.5 levels, indicative of the trend. So all this is data which tells us, look at the overall data. Vehicle emissions, 53%. Construction, 8%. Household resources, 13%. Waste burning, 4%. So where are we heading? There's another interesting graph in the capital. Look at the contributions, vehicle 13%. So everywhere, I think there is a problem. This is interesting. The top one is during the lockdown. You see a lot of blue there. And then you can see the red percolating in when the lockdown was lifted. So this is from Down to Earth magazine. Bill Gates, all of you know Bill Gates, but have you read this book called How to Avoid a Climate Disaster? This is a year-old book by Bill Gates. And in that, he also comes out with this. He says transportation is 16%, manufacturing 31%, electricity 27%, heating, cooling 7%. This is all damaging our environment. And if as an architect, we want to understand this, except for agriculture, 19%, rest all, I think we are part of it. Architects are involved in all this. How much electricity do we consume if we are making any built spaces? Do we really need air conditioning? So all these questions are there and these are related to us. Having said that, when we talk about cities, we use all kind of words. Rethinking cities, sustainable cities, resilient cities, livable cities, and the latest buzzword is smart cities. And to be very honest, I don't really want to decode all of them. I would like you to also respond, unmute if you can, quickly, but you have to be very quick. Can you tell me what you see in this slide? Can somebody unmute quickly and respond? What do you see in this slide? What is your reading of this slide?
Rapid urbanization.
Sorry?
Rapid urbanization.
Rapid urbanization, yeah, fair enough. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Fast schedule, speed of life.
Speed of life, okay. Fast speed of life. What else? Anybody else? In this slide? So both these slides are similar, like that. Anybody else? No? Any other keywords? Any other keywords? Right or wrong is not the question. There is no correct answer. There can be many. Densification, somebody can say. Can you see a lot of energy here? Look at the kind of energy that is used, and then we are talking about sustainable energy, balanced energy, etc. The electricity use, you look at the whole thing. Have you seen this city? Jaisalmer. Now, somebody will say, why Jaisalmer? Yeah, it is good old Purana ho gaya. I still feel that this city remains in the climate context, connectivity and culture, and it's a livable city. Same is with Jodhpur. These are all the basic things which are in place. There is something, only one thing which is not in place for this, if at all somebody has to crib about. Can somebody tell me what is not in place? Can somebody guess? What is not in place? If at all you want to say it is not in place.
Sir, urban planning.
Urban planning, what's wrong here? I think this is a fine urban planning. People meet each other, people chat with each other. Streets are shaded like this. Courtyards are there which are climate conscious. People meet each other, say hello to each other. जो गलियां हैं उसमें छां है. लेकिन एक दिक्कत, अगर आप उसको दिक्कत समझो, हिंदी में हम कहते हैं दिक्कत, तो क्या हो सकती है? कोई बता सकता है? भाई
सर्कुलेशन में भी
थोड़ा इसको एलाबोरेट करो. सर्कुलेशन का मतलब क्या? हम घूम सकते हैं यार गलियों में, आराम से घूम सकते हैं गलियों में. क्या दिक्कत है बताइए भाई. सर्कुलेशन का मतलब क्या है? जल्दी नहीं तो हमारे को 8 बजे.
So maybe it could be like ऐसे पूरा built up environment है and like थोड़ा space नहीं रखा है for like maybe landscaping, it's quite cramped up. ऐसे कुछ.
लैंडस्केपिंग ठीक है, लैंडस्केप नहीं है, कोर्टयार्ड है. कोर्टयार्ड में अंदर बड़े बड़े ओपन स्पेसेस हैं. आपके यहाँ पे स्कूल होंगे तो अंदर की तरफ से बहुत सारा ओपन स्पेस होगा. सब पुरानी सिटीज हमारी ऐसी हैं, लेकिन इसमें एक कुछ गड़बड़ है थोड़ी सी. अगर आप गड़बड़, मैं तो नहीं कहूंगा, वैसे बताएंगे. योर व्हीकल डजंट रीच योर डोर स्टेप हियर. वो कार नहीं पहुंचती घर तक, बराबर है ना? तो आप पैदल जाना पड़ता है मोस्टली, और इसमें कारें नहीं डाल सकते हैं. सो दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. Okay, having said that, this is a pendulum which I discuss always, then and now. Jodhpur was then, Jaisalmer was then, and today is now. It is not that we have to move towards the past and we have to leave the present today, but we need to have a middle path. We must have a middle path. And what is the middle path? I will tell you what we keep on discussing. See, this is the pizza, this is the burger. So all of us are very fond of this. But the best thing is the Indian thali, as far as Indian condition is concerned. So it's the most balanced food. So I feel a city needs to also adopt a similar approach of balances, checks and balances. It cannot go in only one direction. Unfortunately, our cities are now going in only one direction, and they should be adopted like a Indian thali. There should be balances there. This is the way our people dress. So this is being comfortable. Now, is smart being comfortable is a question. This is a common man in India. He dresses like this. You see this slide on the left-hand side, there is a person from maybe Rajasthan or Jodhpur, Jaipur. And this is a gentleman from UK. So because of the climate, he has that kind of attire. And our man at the left-hand side, he has a attire because of the climate. And that also has to respond. Are we trying to do this is the question. Are we trying to do this? And particularly in India, in all the built environment, I think to a lot of extent we are trying to do this. We are trying to ape. And that is where I think the question really is. Having said that, smart is being healthy. If we are talking as architects, then I think we need to make healthy choices. So the city needs to make healthy choices for healthy citizens. That's our role. Architect's role, I personally feel, is not beautification. It is not beautification. It is a question of being healthy and many other things which we will talk about. How many of you have heard of Michael Bloomberg? Anyone? Quickly unmute and say yes.
Yes.
No? Yes, somebody else? Don't read there and tell. Huh? Yeah, who said yes? Who is Michael Bloomberg? Can somebody tell me who said yes? Okay. Michael Bloomberg is 3-time mayor of city of New York, and he came to your city of Mumbai in 2015. Times of India, 18 February 2015, he came to Mumbai. And you know what he said? So this was a newspaper article. And he said this thing. Let us read this. There is a false choice between economic development and environmental quality. It is easy to quantify economic growth, but how do you put a value to 2 more years of life? Do you understand? 2 more years life ko aap value kaise dalo? So economic growth is GDP. The second statement read, yes, you need jobs, you need growth, you need a lot of things, but to say that you need them before your health is a question. I would say if you are dying, you might look back and say, that was not a good decision. The last one is very, very important. If you do not focus on environmental quality of life, you will not be able to fix the economic side. If helping people live longer, happier lives isn't the purpose of the government, then I don't know what is. So I hope you understand this in between. This is Michael Bloomberg. Now, these are certain researches all over, and there is no rocket science. Walkable cities reduce blood pressure and hypertension risk. Find study. More walkable neighborhoods can reduce risk of diabetes, says a study. Brisk walking, better method for losing weight than going to the gym, study claims. Now, many of you must be going to gym. Many of your parents must be going to gym, and many of your friends must be going to gym. We all take a car and go to the gym, and then go onto a treadmill and a bicycle. Isn't it logical that I take a cycle and go to the gym so that my warm-up is done and I save that time, and also use a mode of transport which is less polluting and I create less congestion? So I go to the gym either walking or on bicycle. Why should I go in a car? But the point is, I should be able to walk and cycle. We'll talk about it. Stuck and stressed. Health costs of traffic. Now, these are the kind of data, we have. We have a lot of research, which I told you. Okay. Insider. People are more likely to live to 100 if they live in walkable neighborhoods where they don't need a car or public transport to get groceries or visit friends. So today also, if you want to get grocery, you will take out your two-wheeler or a car. You don't walk. We walk a very little. So that is where the lifestyle has become because of physical planning. Okay. Now I come to a situation where we say streets and roads are arteries of the city, and this is actually 15 to 20% of the open space. Okay. In any city for that matter, minimum 15 to 20%. And we compare it with a human body. So the human arteries actually carry the blood. So similarly, the cities, streets carry the movement. So in a city, if you have safe trees, you get fresh air. You have walkable streets, you get healthy habits. You get cycle-friendly streets, you have healthy lifestyle. And you have safe neighborhood, you have a healthy body. That is what we are looking at. Now, this is the way our streets look like. This is Pune. Look at the whole, what you call, I will not use the word chaos. I will call it the whole mixed movements that are happening. Everything is happening. This is your Mumbai. This is on a newspaper, Times of India, 2014. Look at the title, Why Mumbai Should Get Over Its Obsession with Cars. There is no congestion charge, no bike sharing scheme, no private bus lanes, despite an estimated 91% trips of the city being made on foot, bus or train. Transport policy remains geared towards a car. So this is the situation. This is Jaipur. You look at the whole scenario, you can call it a very heterogeneous thing. There is cycle rickshaw there, cyclist there, tempo there, bus there. Completely. Look at any European coming over here, you say, my God, how do I really walk in this? But we are used to it, and it is fine. But is it really fine? Is it safe at times for you or us? How many of you have heard this name called Enrique Peñalosa, where he says, point to ponder, a developed country is not a place where poor have cars. It is where rich use public transport. That is a developed country. Cities have been taken over by the motor vehicles. They have to be returned to the people. That is what the whole statement. Now, this is very interesting. This is by Dr. Dinesh Mohan, who is a researcher from IIT Delhi, an organization called TRIP. And he asked this question in one of the presentations he made in Pune in 2009. What kind of a city do you want? किस तरह का आपको शहर चाहिए? तो बड़ी सिंपल से 4 पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं. पहला पॉइंट है where my daughter and grandmother can walk and cross roads alone in the evening. ऐसे मेरे को शहर चाहिए. दूसरा, I have all my needs available within walking distance of home. घर के पैदल चलते चलते मेरे को सारे नीड्स मिल जाए, ब्रेड बटर जैम आलू टमाटर प्याज जो भी चाहिए, जो रोज की चीजें हैं. उसके लिए मेरे को कार ना निकालनी पड़ी, टू व्हीलर ना निकालना पड़े. तीसरा, वेयर आई शेयर द स्पेस एज इक्वल सिटीजन विद अदर्स. जो ओपन स्पेस है, जो जगह है मेरे नेबरहुड में, मैं सबसे शेयर करूं, प्राइवेटाइज करके उसको बंद ना करूं. एंड लास्ट, वन दैट आई एम प्राउड ऑफ एंड वांट टू शेव अदर्स अबाउट इट्स ब्यूटी, क्वाइटनेस एंड सिविलिटी. मैं एक ऐसा शहर करूं जिसको मैं मेरे दोस्तों को और बाकी लोगों को दिखा सकूं कि ये मेरा शहर है. अब अगर आप मुंबई कहते हो तो आप कहोगे कि यार मेरी चौपाटी बहुत बढ़िया है. आई हैव मरीन ड्राइव. हैदराबाद में से आई हैव हुसैन सागर लेक. दिल्ली विल से वी हैव इंडिया गेट. पुणे विल से वी हैव टेकडीज एंड हिल्स. सो एवरी सिटी हैज. वाराणसी विल से वी हैव द Ganges. So every city has some. Kolhapur has Rankala Lake. So that is what it is. So these are some simple things. But if I look at the point number 2, where I have daily needs within walkable distance, we have got into the habit of taking our two-wheeler from home and right inside the shop and then saying that give me bread and atta dal and all. Because we want vehicle to be used from the first point to the last point. I don't have to tell this to the Mumbaikars, how many of you are Mumbaikars, but at least Mumbaikars have been used to and always be talked about for walking. This is a very interesting research. All of you are not slept off as yet and awake. Please see this very carefully. The title is Friends and Urban Transport, and it is by Dr. Carlos Dora. What does they show? So this presentation, if it was live, we would have interacted much more, The top slide is houses on the top and houses at the bottom, and there is a street in between. And this slide is repeated 3 times. This diagram is repeated 3 times. So on the left-hand side is light vehicles, 2,000 vehicles per day. People meet each other. They crisscross each other. So you have 3 friends and 5.3 acquaintances. 3 दोस्ती है और 5 जान पहचान है. मैत्री 3, आणखी ओळख 5.3. The second one, when the traffic increases to 8,000, the friendship comes down to 1.3, acquaintances reduced to 4.1. When the traffic increases to 16,000, the crisscrossing further reduces and friends come down to 0.5 and acquaintances 3.1. So this is a simple equation to show you research that people don't then cross roads, meet each other. Why should I go to Gupta uncle wants to meet Joshi uncle? Nako na ata phone vartis boluya. Let us talk over phone only. You want to wish somebody happy birthday. No, there is so much traffic. I can't cross the street. Leave it. Phone pe ho jayega. So I can very well, very categorically say through this research that because of this kind of a development that is being shown on the left-hand side, we are dividing the society. The society is getting divided. And we as a society will have to pay a price for it. We will pay a price for it unless we reverse the process. Enjoy your car. This is now next slide is going to be there for 1/100th of the second, and you have to quickly answer my question. Okay. How many lanes were there? Can somebody answer? Unmute and answer.
Sir, 3 lanes.
3 lanes. How many lanes were there?
Around 8 to 10.
8 to 10. Okay. Count there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can keep on adding lanes. Vehicles will keep on coming. It doesn't matter. You keep on widening street, more lanes, more lanes. Mumbai very proudly added flyovers all over the city 15 years ago. What has it happened? What has happened? Your streets are also full, your flyovers are also full. You added an Eastern Express highway, slowly that will be also full. Now you want to add a sea link or something on the other side, that will be also full. It will not solve any problem. It is like this. How many of you have heard Louis Mumford? Building more roads is like loosening your belt when you are getting fat. आपको बात समझ में आई? तो रास्ते आप बनाते जाओगे, कोई गाड़ियां कम नहीं होंगी, बढ़ती चली जाएंगी, because you are encouraging. If you plan cities for cars and traffic, you get cars and traffic. If you plan your cities for people and places, you get people and places. This is what said Fred Kent. Having said that, this is the master slide. How many of you have seen this slide earlier? You can unmute. Normally I ask you to raise hands, but anybody, yes, has seen this slide?
Yes, sir.
Anyone? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So some lecture, some elective?
So even on the internet.
Yes, sir. Like on social medias.
Social media. Okay, fantastic. So this one is on the extreme right is the focus is on moving people and not vehicles. Now the same number of people which are there on the extreme right are there in these 3 buses. And the same number of people are on the extreme left on the bicycles. So what one is doing is, by doing this, you are releasing the road space rather than widening the street. This is point number 1. Can somebody else tell me what are the other benefits of this? Quickly. Unmute and tell me. What are the other benefits? Anyone? No? Simple, no rocket science, common sense.
It reduces the congestion over an existing road.
Okay, it reduces the congestion over the existing road. Perfect. What else? Next.
Interaction between people.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, dear friend. Hello.
It is reducing the pollution.
One person is saying reducing the pollution, and there is a boy saying something.
Increasing interaction between people.
हाँ वाह 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 क्या बात है. Increasing interaction. Wish I was across the table in the auditorium, then I would have cracked some jokes. You know, interaction in the buses. Okay, very good. And the other girl said reducing the pollution. Okay, fair enough. So pollution, simple. Reducing pollution. Interaction, buses mein. Yeah, you meet, you chat, you have. I will just tell you an example. 3 years ago in Delhi, the AAP government said that odd and even cars. So people started pooling in cars. And then there was this Facebook tweet or whatever, Instagram tweet and everything. From the same society, somebody had to go from A place to B place. They started pooling and then they said, the other friend, Mrs. Mehra, where do you stay? Oh, I stay in D building. Oh, I also stay in D building. I'm on the 4th floor. Oh, no, I'm on the 14th floor. Oh, we have never met. The next day met. Mrs. Mehra got idli. Somebody else got a samosa. Then she started talking, my kid does this, my kid does that. Yes, that's it. Otherwise, you are in a car listening to your music. So yes, social interaction, pollution, anything, anybody else? One more point, very, very important.
Hardly any traffic.
Hardly any traffic. Okay, that is release of road space. That's right. But there's one more point.
It opens up the road for people.
Yeah, it opens up the road. So you have the space where I can walk, where I can maybe put a nice footpath and everything. But there is one more very, very critical point here. You talked about pollution. You talked about people or society and people. You talked about the release of road space. What does it do? Reduces something else.
So consumption of natural resources.
Can you be very specific, dear?
So the consumption of petrol and diesel.
सीधी बात करो ना यार. सीधी बात करो. कौन है? What is your name, dear?
Lisa Kurade.
So पेट्रोल कम हो जाता है. बड़ा सिंपल सा है. तो अभी पेट्रोल का प्राइस कितना हो गया पिछले हफ्ते? Any idea? Per barrel, it was $25, $30, $40 per barrel. Now it has touched, because of this Ukrainian crisis, it has touched $1,000 per barrel. And so much of foreign exchange will go. Very simple. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Having said that, let us move to next. Healthy neighborhood is to do with safety of people. Let us understand this. Whatever I'm going to talk about, it is going to be with specific things. What do you mean by safety? Read this. 75,000 young lives lost in road accident last year. Read this. Traffic deaths in India. I'm not going to read the figures, but I'm trying to tell you what does it do. And this is the best part. If you are driving at 20, if you are hit by a vehicle at 20 kmph, the chances of your survival are 9 out of 10. If you are hit by a vehicle at 30 kmph, chances of survival are 5 out of 10. And if you are hit by a vehicle which is at 40 kmph, your chances of survival are 1 out of 10. This is the scenario. So safety is the most important thing. And second is little extra speed makes a big impact. So you need to control the speed. This whole idea in a city, I'm talking about a city, I'm not talking about the highways. To have high speed is not in the safety of the people. Look at this, 80% of our road deaths are amongst pedestrians, cyclists and motorcyclists. Data. Killer Indian roads claim lives of 56 pedestrians per day. This is all data. You'll say, what is it to do with architecture, sir? There is precedency. Eminent citizens write to PM, urge him to make road safety a national priority. Safety, not beautiful design. I'm not talking about beautiful design. We are talking about only safety. This is the way our kids walk on the street. Somebody was laughing. Yeah, ऐसा ही है भैया. ये दिल्ली है. ये राजकोट है. अब इसमें कॉर्नर में एक फुटपाथ बना हुआ, पेड़ वेड़ है, बच्चे बेचारे यहाँ चल रहे हैं. ये जयपुर है. यहाँ पे देखिए आप, साइड में गाड़ियां पार्क्ड है. लोग कहाँ पे चल रहे हैं देखिए. अभी मेरे पास यहाँ पे माउस वाउस नहीं है, तो आप देख लीजिए लोग कहाँ चल रहे हैं. और एक लेन में ट्रैफिक चल रही है. आपको अगर मेरा माउस का कुछ दिख रहा है थोड़ा सा, आई डोंट नो, मेरा माउस थोड़ा चल नहीं रहा है, कोई बात नहीं. ये यहाँ पे लोग चल रहे हैं और ये गाड़ियां चल रही हैं. तो दिस इज जयपुर. लोग ऐसे क्रॉस करते हैं. आप रेलिंग लगाओगे बीच में, लोग ऐसे क्रॉस करेंगे. एंड देन ऑन वी विल से दैट people's behavior is very bad. It's not a question of people behavior. I will take the shortest route to cross the road, dear. I will do that. This is a foot over bridge, 4.5 meter above. People will cross at the ground. Who is going to climb up? Nobody will climb up 4.5 meters. You see all the skywalks in Mumbai which are built. Who is using them? Until and unless you are coming out of a railway station, climbing up and then crossing. That is possible. But rest of the places, foot over bridges are not meant for pedestrians. Foot over bridges are meant for convenience of cars, so that the cars go faster. So the pedestrian is put to an inconvenience of climbing up 4.5 meter or going down 2.5 meters into a subway. Now, some of the subways are absolutely fabulous and they work. Is obviously the one opposite BT station or Churchgate station. That only in Mumbai. Rest of the places it doesn't really work, because there the whole output of pedestrian is very high. These are subways. This is in Pune, the subway which is locked. Any idea why subways are not very conducive? Can somebody tell me why they are not conducive? Yeah, anyone? Quickly. Anyone? So if your subway is... Yes, dear.
The lack of ventilation, especially in a
Lack of ventilation, lack of light, and they can be dangerous. They are not safe places for people, elderly, girls, ladies. It can lead to molestation, eve-teasing, chain snatching. So if you are not in the public eye, it will not work. Now, I will show you that is the subway. This is a foot-over bridge. This foot-over bridge has an advertisement board. Now, I'm slowly and steadily building the whole thing up to observation, solutions, and social life. And that is the role of an architect. Now, this is the advertisement board because the corporation needs the revenue, which is right. No issues whatsoever. So when you put a foot-over bridge ke upar ye advertisement like this, what happens inside? This is what happens. And when something like this happens, and if this foot-over bridge is lonely, not like in Mumbai where maybe you will have a lot of footfall, then this is not safe. Now, to make it safe, next thing you can do is this. You make it transparent. This foot-over bridge is constructed in Pune, near Vishrantwadi, at a cost of 5 crores or whatever it is. And in a day, not more than 10 people use it. So foot-over bridges, people will not walk until unless they are connected with a railway track the way it is in Mumbai. Okay. You have from platform number 1, climb up and then come out straight to the JJ college on the opposite side, crossing the road. So that is fine. This I'm specifically saying because most of you are from Mumbai and you stay right there at JJ college. But these kind of foot-over bridges are absolutely of no value. So construction of foot-over bridges has been stopped world over. Stopped world over. Now this is one, those of you who are familiar with Pune, this is a subway which is open to sky. It has the light. It is under the eyes of the people. And this is a very functional subway in Pune, in Deccan Gymkhana. But unfortunately, this design is not repeated in Pune, nor in Maharashtra, nor in India. Why? I don't know. This is built almost 40 years ago. Those of you who know Pune and have been to Deccan Gymkhana would still remember, and it is still there. So this is the way it is. So when you are crossing, there is ample light and there are ample eyes. And you can have a Rumal wala selling something there, somebody sitting there with a gajra, somebody there with a gubbara, fine. This is a research again. The day I had to take an auto to cross notorious Ghole Road, look at the scenario. Now this is the reality. There are people who, to cross the road, hire a auto rickshaw because you cannot cross the road. And this is an article by this Sriram Prabhu. Traffic can give unforgiving for the elderly. Having said that, let us start analyzing it further as a street. Look at this. This lady is walking not on the footpath, but she is walking there. Can somebody tell me why she is walking there? Anybody?
There's so much space, so she's just walking.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you, dear.
there is a lot of space outside the footpath.
There is a lot of, Neil is saying there is a lot of space available. That's why she is walking there. If I understood it right. No, that is not the reason why she is walking
Because
there.
the footpath is not continuous and it is breaking in between.
Sanjeevani Patil says the footpath is not continuous. So she doesn't want to do up and down hurdle. She is not coming to a gym. So she is going walking it straight. You are absolutely right, dear. Now this cyclist is driving there where this lady is walking. Actually, that is the cycle track. So why is the cyclist on the other edge there and not on the cycle track? Any idea? Can somebody tell me this?
Cycle track is not smooth enough.
Cycle track is not smooth enough. No, means why does it have to be smooth, dear? Why does it have to be smooth?
For ease.
For ease. But who is concerned about ease? Are you concerned about ease? You are absolutely right, dear. These interlocking blocks will give you friction. So I'm not going to drive on that friction. So I will drive on the tar road, which is smooth. It's very simple. And this is everything to do with architecture. It is everything to do with materials. It is everything to do with engineering and everything to do with common sense. But this is the way we have been working. So wide footpath, no hawkers, nothing, but you have up and down. So she walks there. Where she is walking, that is the cycle track, but that is interlocking bar. A cyclist is there. And then we have a chaotic situation. Look at this. This is another image. I don't know which city this is. It's somewhere from Maharashtra only. How much of road is being used by cars and how much is being used by pedestrians? We just work it out. 40% is with the pedestrian. They are walking right till there. Look at this. What are these? Who are these? Vendors, hawkers. So how do you respond to them? Are you for them? Are you not for them? Are you against them? What is it?
With them because they don't have space.
They don't have space. So you think they should be there?
They shouldn't be there, but they don't have any choice.
They don't have. May I know your name, dear?
I live in Navi Mumbai.
Navi Mumbai, Samiksha. Okay, Samiksha, they should have, but maybe I'm going to make a statement. I want these hawkers, but I don't want it in front of my house. I want them in front of Samiksha's house. मेरे घर के सामने नहीं चाहिए. I want a mochi. I want a mochi. वो mochi होना चाहिए और किसी के घर के सामने. मेरे घर के सामने नहीं. बराबर है? Everybody has this own attitude. Anybody else wants to make any comment on this? The hawkers? Any comments? Required, not required, should be there, should not be there? No? Be very frank. There is nothing right or wrong. Anybody can speak. I don't want the same people speaking again and again. I want new people to speak. मन में मत रखो, कह दो. वो कोई rocket science नहीं है. हाँ बताओ.
They should.
Yes, dear.
Sir, it may be like one day market भी हम बोलते हैं ना शनिवार का बाजार or something.
One day market शनिवार का. अच्छा. आप कहाँ से हो बच्चे? किधर से हो?
I'm from Jalna.
Jalna. अच्छा. The next one, somebody, Ananya wants to say something.
So they should definitely be there, but they should also have their own designated space.
Designated space. Okay, fair enough. Anybody else? Most of you are from Mumbai. Your station roads work the best. You go to the station road, on my way back, I pick up this mirchi, limbu and all. So that is the line of action on which I am walking. And the hawker is going to sit on the line of action. The only problem is that this hawker is facing the road. So I park my car there and I don't want to get from the car and buy this. That's the problem. So how should the hawker be? I will show you the next slide. And this is the slide from your Mumbai, Tumchi Mumbai. This is your Mumbai. This is Sena Bhavan Road at Dadar, Mumbai. You know Sena Bhavan, Mahim to Dadar. And look at this. What is the difference between this and the earlier hawker? Can somebody tell me?
These are sitting on the footpath facing the shops.
Absolutely. They are facing the shop and not the road. So you are not sitting in the car and saying ki ye kharido. So people are walking in between. One side is the shop, other side is the hawker. and both are complementary to each other. And that is the way it should happen. And most of the Mumbai streets used to be like this. And I hope they are like this. King Circle or Dadar TT, which is now, I'm sorry, the names have changed. We used to call it Khudada Circle, Dadar TT. What is it now called? I don't know. Dadar, yeah, anybody can help me. Near Coin. I'm an old timer. I've never been to Mumbai that famous. I have lots of relatives. So you understand King Circle and the Dadar TT. Yeah, uska naam badal gaya anyway. So you have a wide footpath where you have these hawkers on the other side, but they are all facing inside. So that is the way it works. And what else does a hawker does? Anybody can tell me? What else?
People.
Sorry, he calls people. Okay, that is there. And it is his economy, his survival. Today he has the right to hawk on, do this vending on the street. There is an act of parliament, let me tell you. We also compare this, like the designated spaces Ananya mentioned, somebody mentioned. This is, what is this, dear? What is this? Hello?
A shopping center.
Mall.
It's a mall. It's a mall, okay? And in the mall, there is a street here. Now, in this, these are all hawkers in between there. And the hawker has been designated a space by that coloring tiles that you see. You see the color tiles in between. So that space has been given to them. And what is the mall person doing? He's taking rent from him. So the street hawking is also with the Act of Parliament. There is Act of Parliament which says that the municipal ward has to award this space to this hawker and take some token rent, token charges. That is the Act of Parliament. And this, as architects, we should know. This act has been passed some 5-6 years ago. It will take time to get implemented. Having said that, this is the mall. Look at this mall. Great cafe coffee day. The coffee is here for 250 rupees. And your chai on the Dadar street is available for maybe 5 rupees. But this is the space which is allotted. So this needs to be transformed onto the real realm. Now, what else does hawking do? Any idea? What else do these hawkers do? Anyone? You must have learned this theory somewhere, or some teachers must have told you that, no? No? Okay, I moved that slide very quickly. But I will show you that slide. Observe the slide. And this is again a WhatsApp slide, but this is there. Security cameras around the world. Understood?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
like they
Yes, sir.
look over the streets and everything, what's going on.
You tell me, in Mumbai busy streets, will anybody try to do any masti? No, na? But on a lonely street, people will do masti. You understand what I mean by that? And United States, United Kingdom, look at the number of cameras. China, so many. What are we going to do with these cameras? These cameras will help you locate and maybe pick up the culprit, but after the act is done. Whereas Indian cameras on the street will take care of it there and then. So this whole theory, anybody knows this theory? What is this theory called? This theory is called eyes on the street. Eyes on the street. Marathi मध्ये म्हणतात रस्त्यावरती डोळे. And you don't need policemen. You need people on the street. And this problem exists everywhere. In the lane and by lanes, lonely lanes and by lanes of any city, you will have problems. You have problems in Hinjawadi in Pune. You have problems in Gurgaon. I'm sure years ago there used to be problem, and today also Navi Mumbai, there are many places which are isolated. Any isolated lanes. In Chicago, there are problems. In Manhattan at night, there are problems when there is people are not there. So this is eyes on the street theory, which was coined. This word eyes on the street was coined by a person called Jane Jacob. How many of you have heard of Jane Jacob? Otherwise, note it down and find out who was Jane Jacob. I can only tell you Jane Jacob was not an architect. She was an activist. She was an activist from US, and she really built up the whole theory for people's right in the neighborhood. Okay, read about it, Jane Jacob. Having said that, let us come to shade. So this is all we are talking about safety. Now we are talking about shade. Do I need to explain this slide to you?
No, sir. It's like pretty much clear from what it is.
And this is what we are doing, no? This is what we are doing. I know Mumbai and particularly Khar Santa Cruz, if you are familiar with. I know this kind of a bottom street in Hindu colony in Shivaji Park, in Parsi colony near King Circle, in Ville Parle. This is the kind of street which was at the bottom. I don't know what are we doing with our cities now, because we want more and more of space for some purpose. Having said that, these are the way the trees are. And then we try to put tar right till the edge. By putting tar right to the edge of the tree, can somebody tell me what we are doing? Anybody? Anyone, what are we doing by putting tar right to the edge?
We're choking the roots.
Absolutely, you are choking the roots, you are putting poison into it. And you use the right word. Wish I was there in your school. I would have enacted that as a theater artist. Gala घोट रहे हैं उसका. Can you tell me what is the problem here? Or what is the solution here? Now I am moving to little architecture engineering, okay? What is the solution here? Anyone?
Providing shade for the people who are walking by.
ठीक है यार, थोड़ा बहुत तो शेड आ ही रहा है और क्लीन फुटपाथ है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है वैसे देखा जाए तो. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है? मेरे को लगता है थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम है.
फुटपाथ को एक्सटेंड करना चाहिए था.
मतलब क्या एग्जैक्टली बता सकते हो?
ट्रीज फुटपाथ के अंदर आने चाहिए थे.
थोड़ा सा और ठीक तरह से बताओ मेरे को. ट्रीज को फुटपाथ पे नहीं लाना था. अगर आप ट्रीज को फुटपाथ पे लाओगे तो और एक कोई गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. आप जरा ठीक तरह से समझाओ ठीक तरह से, बहुत क्लैरिटी से समझाओ.
फुटपाथ को एक्सटेंड करके ट्रीज फुटपाथ के साइड पे आए तो स्पेस भी बढ़ जाएगा.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल. आपको मैं 6 या 7 मार्क्स दूंगा. अभी भी 3 मार्क्स माइनस है आपके. और कोई इसको एक्सटेंड कर सकता है जो ये लड़की कह रही है इसको?
सर फुटपाथ का विड्थ इंक्रीज करना चाहिए.
नहीं, विड्थ इंक्रीज, विड्थ तो मेरे लिए ठीक है. ये विड्थ मेरे लिए ठीक है. जो वो लड़की कह रही है बिल्कुल सही कह रही है. आप भी शायद ठीक कह रहे हो, विड्थ बढ़ाना चाहिए कुछ है. लेकिन एग्जैक्ट पर्पस क्या बता दो. बड़ा कॉमन सेंस से बात करो यार.
सर अगर हम फुटपाथ एक्सटेंड कर रहे हो, ट्री को अंदर ले रहे हैं, तो ट्रीज के आजू बाजू वो ब्रिक वॉल बना सकते हैं जो डायरेक्ट तार ट्रीज को टच ना हो.
ब्रिक वॉल क्यों बनाएगा बेटा? मिट्टी क्यों नहीं डालेगा?
मिट्टी बना के ऐसा एक सेफ गार्ड बनाएंगे.
तो मिट्टी डाल ना. ये सब फुटपाथ एक्सटेंड, ये कर्व को शिफ्ट कर दो और एक कर्व लगा दो और सारी मिट्टी डाल दो, तो ट्री जिएगा या नहीं जिएगा?
जिएगा सर.
पेड़ को जीने के लिए मिट्टी चाहिए या फुटपाथ चाहिए? मिट्टी चाहिए बच्चों. ये कोई रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. दूसरी स्लाइड दिखाता हूं, ये देख लो. ये देख लो, ये पता कहां पे है? नीचे लिखा हुआ है, कोयम्बतूर में है. ये पेड़ों का साइज देखो, फुटपाथ देखो कहां पे है, और टार देखो कैसे डाल रखा है. और ये पेड़ों के बीच में कोई जगह नहीं इस्तेमाल हो रही. गाड़ी वहां पे घूम नहीं रही है. लेकिन हमारी आदत हो गई है कि टार एंड तक डालने का और पेड़ को घोटने का है. सो दिस इज वेयर द simple, these are design issues, and this is what an architect should look at. This is where there is a huge eye that the architect, stopped my car and I took it, this I was going to this ashram of Coimbatore mein. Kiska ashram? Isha Foundation, barabar hai? Am I right? उन्हीं का है ना कोयम्बतूर में आश्रम? हेलो हेलो, चलो कोई बात नहीं, आगे चलते। सो दिस इज द स्लाइड, दिस इज अगेन मुंबई, दिस इज अगेन मुंबई माहिम। वहां पे पेड़ के चारों तरफ कम से कम थोड़ा ब्रीदिंग स्पेस दिया हुआ है, थोड़ा है, ज्यादा नहीं है, बट कोशिश तो है। शेड का क्या क्या फायदा आपने देखा मिस? लुक एट द शेड, द वैल्यू ऑफ शेड. I don't have to explain it to you. And these are WhatsApp images. This is not a big research as such. What do you call this? What do you title this slide? Can somebody tell me? What do you title this slide? I deliberately not titled it. Anyone? Pick. Give a title to this slide.
पेड़ के नीचे जिंदगी।
पेड़ के नीचे जिंदगी, बहुत बढ़िया। और कोई?
झाडाखालची सभा।
झाडाखालची सभा, वाह. आता जरा मॉडर्न करूया, आर्किटेक्चरल जे आपण करतो असं थोडं आर्किटेक्चर मध्ये जर जायचंय तर कैन आई कॉल इट ऑडिटोरियम? मेरे लिए तो ये ऑडिटोरियम है, कवर्ड ऑडिटोरियम है यार, काय को ऑडिटोरियम बनाने का. तो चांगले शब्द होते, झाडाखालची सभा, पेड़ के नीचे जिंदगी. मराठी आता सबको? आ गया सबको समझ?
यस सर।
बड़ा सिंपल है. कितनी बार आपने अपनी स्कूटर ऐसे घुसा घुसा के बीच में डाली है जहां पे शेड हो? जिंदगी में कम से कम 1-2 बार तो डाली होगी.
यस सर।
लेकिन हम लोग उसकी कदर नहीं करते. सॉरी टू से दैट, हम कदर नहीं करते पेड़ की. स्ट्रीट्स पे ऐसे भी गम्मत हो सकती है. यू नो, यू कैन सी दिस इज इन पोर्तुगल. वी वर डूइंग सम प्रोजेक्ट इन Lakshmi Road in Pune. Those of you know a little bit of Pune. There is a street called Lakshmi Road, and we are trying to propose something like this. हमने उनको ये स्लाइड दिखाई, तो जो लक्ष्मी रोड के दुकानदार लोग थे उनसे हम बात कर रहे थे. उसमें एक कहता है, साहब ये बहुत बढ़िया आइडिया है, मेरा छाते का दुकान है, मैं छाते डोनेट करूंगा. उनका बहुत बढ़िया, बट ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं. अभी भी हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं लक्ष्मी रोड को कुछ ऐसे करने की. ये हमारा जयपुर है. जयपुर में इस तरह से स्ट्रीट को शेड की बात कर रहे हैं ना, ऊपर से अगर बहुत गर्मी है तो ऐसे. इसकी बात की जो स्लाइड है ना, ये एक एब्सोल्यूट इनोवेटिव स्लाइड है. एब्सोल्यूट इनोवेटिव मींस लोग कैसे डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. हम आर्किटेक्ट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो लोग देखो क्या करते हो. और ये हमने फिर से हमारी रिसर्च में से ये लिया हुआ है. नहीं ये नहीं है, और एक है दिखा था. हाँ, तो ये भी है. एवरीवन वांट्स टू स्टैंड इन शेड, बट नोबडी वांट्स टू प्लांट ए ट्री. एंड दिस इज योर, व्हाट इज, किसका शेड है? कैन समबडी टेल मी?
Flyover.
Wow. Yeah. See how useful the flyover is. कितना फायदा है फ्लाईओवर का. इसका नेक्स्ट वाला स्लाइड देखो तो पता चलेगा लोग क्या क्या करते हैं. पढ़ लो उसको, अंग्रेजी में नीचे पढ़ लो. This is called Punekar's intelligence. At a junction, you have put these tarpaulin, and this is absolute common sense. How many of times you have remained away from the junction if there is a shade? And this is what is design in public realm. Design in public realm happens by human behavior. Human behavior se hota hai. And if you do design with human behavior in mind, things would be completely different. Having said that, this is another statement. You can read it. Imagine if trees gave free Wi-Fi, we would all be planting like crazy. It is a pity they only give us oxygen we breathe. Having said that, let us move to society. People. This is a street in Gangtok, which is a complete pedestrianized. I'm not very sure whether everything should be pedestrianized, but this is a very interesting street in Gangtok. This is a street in Istanbul, which is a pedestrian street, but there is a tram which is in the center. This is the famous Manhattan Times Square, where on the left-hand side, once upon a time, there used to be the cabs, which used to move like this. And now it is all pedestrian like this. The Times Square is a pedestrian, but there is a metro which is going below that. So there is a public access to it. And this is the way Times Square looks now. These are some interesting slides about what is the public realm. And the title is Times Have Changed. Really is the question. Look at the bottom slide, look at the top slide. What has changed? Nothing. Only the medium has changed. Whether these people on the top are listening to news or reading news, God knows, but they are on a screen reading something. Same is happening at the bottom there. So human behavior over a period of time has been consistent. And particularly in the urban realm, you need to understand this. How do you make this human behavior in the context of design, This is another interesting slide where the young and the old are sharing the same open space. Okay. And the kids are playing there. They are also there. I really don't know what happened after this when the ball fell on the game. Okay. But that's the way one needs to coexist. One needs to coexist in a public realm. Trees are very important here. And I hope trees are meant for interaction. What kind of interaction, anybody can decide. So this is a tree which is still there in Pune, and we could manage this photograph. These young friends don't know that we are using this photograph in presentations all over the world, trying to say that tree as a social space, Having said that, I will maybe skip this, but try to tell you that parking is one of the biggest issues in the urban space. And look at what is there. The newspaper cuttings tell you that two communities fight over parking space for 4 hours in Sanganer. And on the right-hand side, the commissioner is injured, the ACP is injured, etc. So please understand, parking has become a biggest issue in the city. And if we need to solve it, there is only one solution, which we can discuss a little later, or you may ask me in a question answer session. There's another very nasty slide over here. Killers made sure that this is a story in Delhi where over a parking space, people killed each other. And this one person killed the boy there who is in the photograph because there was a parking issue which was brewing for number of months. So because of this parking, this boy came out and started into argument. So he was shot. The mother came out, she was shot. The father came out, he was shot. This is the latest one in Pune. Software engineer killed over parking dispute in Lula Nagar. So imagine, how is the mental framework of people? And that is what society is all about. Engineer murdered after dispute over parking. Okay. Now, I will show you some videos which you watch very carefully. And you will see how people walk on the street and how people use the street. And you tell me in the end, what do you feel? Observe these videos. All 4 are working videos. And this is the scenario in every street all over the country. Yeah, tell me, what is your observation?
The space that is supposed to be used by pedestrians is taken up by vehicles for parking, so the pedestrians are walking over the roads and while the cars are moving at the same time.
They are bindas. The pedestrian is bindas. He has no choice. And nobody is getting knocked down. So they have occupied that space. They have occupied that space. And this is the scenario all over the country. And look at the bottom slide, the right-hand side bottom slide. Can you tell me what is specific in that slide? I will run the video again. Sorry. Just a minute. Yeah. What was so specific in the right-hand side bottom slide? Anyone observed anything?
He came from wrong way.
To be very, very sharp and specific and very, very direct. To see, we do these kind of presentations with public, and we try to tell public what is your benefit, and we need to literally bring into their thing. See, this is in your benefit. What we are trying to do. We do absolute public lectures on streets with societies and everyone. So if you observe this again, I will give you another opportunity. Tell me. What will you tell public if you are showing this bottom right video to the anyone? There are two observations as an architect and as a human being you should be able to tell me in the bottom slide, which is right now also on your screen.
The biker almost hit the woman and the child.
Sorry?
The biker almost hit the woman.
Bike?
The biker almost hit the woman.
He almost hit the woman. Fair enough. But there is another very important observation. As a common man, common sense, you should be able to tell me.
Sir, there is a small children who is like कार के पूरे साइड में चला गया वो पाथ.
आप एग्जैक्टली बताओ क्या है? ये सोसाइटी का पार्ट है, ये ह्यूमन बिहेवियर का पार्ट है. कोई भी आप 70 बच्चों में से नहीं बता पा रहा उस बॉटम वाले स्लाइड में क्या ऑब्जर्व करना चाहिए हमें?
So half of the pedestrians are walking on the road.
वो सब ठीक है, थोड़ा आर्किटेक्चर हटा दो. आपके पेरेंट्स ने कभी आपको कुछ बताया होगा?
उसको गाड़ी उड़ाती है अभी.
बराबर है, लेकिन पेरेंट्स ने आपको क्या बताया?
The child is walking on the outer side of the road and he's leaning really close to the cars. Already like वो बाहर से चल रहे हैं and
who is at fault? The child is at fault?
No, the person who is along with the child, the parent. Maybe.
That mother is useless, isn't it? She's put the child on the right hand side. The child should have been on the inside. Am I right or not? Until unless you observe this kind of a safety, dear, we will not be able to design urban neighborhoods. And this your parents must have told you. This comes automatic. Na? When you are holding your father's hand, your father always put you inside on the safer side. So architecture needs to relate to daily life. This is very, very critical. Okay. And then obviously that motorcyclist went ulta, whatever it is, but look at that thing. Okay. Having said that, we designed streets, and this is the street we designed where we put a footpath, and these people who are there were exactly walking on the footpath that we designed. You know why? Because our footpath was designed as per what we call the desire line. There is something called as a desire line. So if I go like this, these people who are walking, they are walking as per the desire line. This is their desire line. This Azuba on the top one where he is walking, that is his desire line. And you are saying that he is walking on a street. I am saying he is walking on a desired line. That is the line on which he should be walking. I will explain to you further. Then there is a system. Now this is a system. Can you see the left and the right? This is a slide from a street in Seoul. And this is basically not beautification of the street as it is written on top. This is space reorganization and equitable distribution. So what has one done? One has given parking on the left-hand side, then footpath, then 3 lanes, then there are services, there are trees. So this street is being reorganized. The street is being reorganized. That is what is done. And this kind of a reorganization is done. And we compare this to something like this. This is our old offices, 20, 30 years ago. And nowadays there is something called about interior design. I don't think interior design is beautification. Interior design is space organization. It is space organization to increase efficiency. Similarly, this change from the upper interior to the lower space organization, the street from left to right is also space organization. Reorganize the space. Okay, so let us move ahead. These are some of the public engagement posters in Pune, and we work only with government. So where city traffic police, Pune Municipal Corporation, some ad agency put up these advertisements. Don't jump the signal, you are not a monkey. Don't cross the stop line, you are not a zebra. Pedestrian is the king of the road, honor them. So you have to work a lot in the public realm if you want to get the whole city into a fabric. Now we had a municipal commissioner, police commissioner called Manoj Patil. And when he came in, he enforced law and everybody stopped at the stop line. Nobody crossed. Now, you know, all Indians, we always keep on saying that we don't follow rules, upon beshista hot, etc., etc. But all of us, when we travel abroad and we land in Amsterdam, New York, Japan, or Tokyo, London, immediately we follow their rules. So do we take a injection of discipline before landing? We don't. We are automatically into discipline because everything is designed, is in place, and there is a penalty. Manoj Patil, the DCP then, enforced the penalty. If you cross the stop line, you will be fined very heavily, which is there in the box. So this is what Pune became then. Everybody is stopping at the stop line. So it is not very difficult to get things in order. Now, this is one of the earliest design streets in India, apart from many, and we consider this as one of the very interesting one is CG Road in Ahmedabad. You can see that green street is CG Road. It used to look like this, all chaotic. This is that interior design example, reorganization of the street. So this street was reorganized by Bimal Patel way back 20 years ago, I think. And it looked like this, streamlining the complete street. And this is how it looked. And the MB lane, the motorized lane was only 6.15 meter, parking on the other side. And it functioned very well for years. Now they are redoing this street with some modifications. So this is the before and after. Having said that, principles of neighborhood planning that we keep on following, if you see, is 10-minute walk or short bike ride, you know. So these are builders' brochures, you know, big townships in Mumbai, Pune, Gurgaon, Chennai, everywhere. These are the township brochures. And you know what they talk about? Imagine your children hopping, skipping, jumping to school every day. Pathways for walking, cycling, and jogging. Walk to work. Right of way to pedestrians. So you read the red ones. Walk back home. Look at the bottom one on the left-hand side. Children play with no cars coming in their way. That means all the builders' brochures are talking about this language, which is all we agree with. And if that is so, we took these master plans of these brochures. So these are the master plan brochures. And our whole argument is, if the builders' township need to have these kind of fabric, then why can't one ward? I hope you understand what is a ward. Ward is a municipal limit of a corporator. So why can't we have a ward which has all these walkability, cycle, museum, garden, and everything, but we reorganize the ward? And this is the kind of analysis that we did. And there are some, again, slides. Look at the importance of trees in certain brochures. Take your mind to wonderful new high. See beauty, live beauty, think beauty. So I'm just picking up some random things. This is the way we look at greenery, you know. But do we really care for this green? A fresh viewpoint for thinking mind. So with this kind of a background research, we say that this is the dasha. You understand dasha? And we keep on criticizing. So we have a project that we have evolved over a period of time, 2 decades of research, called Project Disha. So what is Project Disha? Project Disha is demonstration of integrated, safe, habitable, affordable solutions for a neighborhood. Very simple. That is Project Disha. Give a direction. You need to come out with solutions. You can't be only criticizing. So how to change the dasha to disha? Data collection, design, discuss. So you collect the data, you design something, discuss with people, and then demonstrate. That is the Project Disha. And it incorporates very simple things. If you see on top, street lighting, garbage disposal, trees, walking, cycling, public transport. handicap friendly, street vendors, kattas, open spaces and public spaces. If we do that in a neighborhood, property values will go up, safety will go up, health will go up, social interaction will go up, pollution will come down, and fuel consumption will come down. And if all this is followed, then we will get a qualitative, economic, and environmental change, leading to creation of healthy, hygienic, and habitable neighborhoods. We also promote a lot, and we say a healthier option is travel by 11 number bus. What is the 11 number bus? Walking and cycle is the 11 number bus to connect communities. It helps connect communities if you are within 11 number bus. This is another interesting slide or our analysis that street has so many components. Walking to parking. You see the top, there is walking, bottom is parking. Now what you see in red is what we are currently doing. Maximum parking. You can see at the bottom, red. Then maximum MB lane. Public transport is in between. Basic services in between. At top, if you see the red line, pedestrian is half. Cycle is poor. Cyclist is down there in the red. Handicap friendly, very down there. What should happen is the green. That is what we should perceive or look for. So guiding principle at the policy levels. We have evolved these 6 guiding principles. What are these? Okay, these are national policies, guiding principles, national urban transport policy. There is national urban prescription. There is smart city policy. There are a lot of policies like this. Now let me come to this interesting slide. What will you do with 1,000 crores if you have with you in a municipal corporation? Whether it is Mumbai, Satara, Jalna, somebody is from Jalna, somebody is from Kolhapur, somebody is from maybe Nagar, Aurangabad. If you have 1,000 crores, you will get an underground metro, which is 2.5. And this is very old data. Now you will not even get 2.5 kilometer. Elevated metro will be 5 crores, 5 kilometer. That means 200 crores per kilometer is elevated metro. Monorail is 6.7 kilometers, whereas 1,000 crores will give you a bus system of 67 kilometers. Now, smaller cities like Jalna, Kolhapur, that should have a bus system. And that's it. Nasik also. A nice bus system is good enough. Maybe larger cities need a metro. Having said that, it's the cycle, pedestrian and public transport, bus in particular, which will hold the city together or the neighborhood together. So this is our journey over last 20-25 years. And this is the graph line that you see. 1997, I was in Delhi for 30 years and I shifted to Pune around 1990. In 97, we started this research. The black that you see, the circles that you see black, and you can see on the left-hand side, black is presentation and papers, orange is policy only, red is design only, blue is tender stage. Basically, the project went up to tender, and the green one is executed. Now you can see this slide. It is mostly black, only papers and presentation. There is only one green, which is on the extreme right bottom in 2007. The next one now you see. Can you see how many blacks, how many reds, and how many greens? There are only 3 greens. They are majority reds. And what is red? Red is design only. We designed a lot, but nothing got executed. Next year, you can see on the top, it is all red. Only design, design, design. Nothing got executed. Now you can see from 2015 and 17, things have started changing. You can see a little more green happening there at the bottom. And now 17, 18, and now it is 18, 19, 20, 20, 21. Now we can see little more green and little more blue. The blue is tender stage. So hopefully that will get converted into green. So that has been our journey, 21. And this is 21, 22, and the journey continues. Now, let us look at how we execute. This is the famous Satara Road in Pune. This is the way the street, this is very old photograph. You can't find this photograph anymore. What we do is, we have a theory which is developed called drawing the lines. So we have, this is the ROW. We draw the actual road. This is the actual road used. Can you make out? After this, what you see is all gray area. मिट्टी है सारी वहाँ पे, लोग चल रहे हैं. So the road is not being used. So what we do is we start drawing the lines. You can see the edge line. Then you can see the footpath there. We say this is the footpath. But this is not the footpath on which people will walk. Then we have this as a parking bay and a service lane. And you know which is the footpath we design? This is the footpath we design, if you understand it. And after that, you can see the two cyclists. We put a cycle track there. After that, we put two MB lanes over there. And the last one in the center is the bus lane over there. That is the bus lane. That is called the centralized bus system, which is called BRTS. And we designed this and we executed it. And this is the way it looks. Center bus, then MB lane, then the cycle track, then the footpath. And this was on this footpath, those ladies were walking exactly. So this is the cycle track and this is the footpath. The cyclist is on a footpath, on a cycle track, which is of concrete, which is smooth. It is not of tar, but it is not of interlocking blocks. And the pedestrians are exactly on the footpath. You can see the cyclist there. You can see the cyclist there. You can see these school children there. You can have the service lane on the left-hand side and the cyclist on the cycle track. You can see the pedestrians exactly on the desired lines. So this is the way we have evolved our designs of the street, and we have built them up over a period of time. This is another interesting project that we did, which didn't get executed. This was in Satara on a street called Rajpath. We were called there. We were called there by the Honorable MP, I think. And we were told that there is a problem of children crossing the street. And we were told by the local team members, engineers, and the corporation members, साहब ये ऐसा ऐसा है, यहाँ पे एक subway या footover bridge बना दो. So that is not the solution. That's not the solution. So what is the solution? I said, let us study. And then we studied this place. And then we said, okay, if this is the chaos that you have, we took this photograph. And what did we do? We again drew lines. We drew parallel lines like this. And we kept the 6-meter MB lane. And what you see, the gray, the red area on the right-hand side and left-hand side, we said, make this as a footpath. And wherever there is a larger niche or something available, put hawkers there. Do you understand? On the left-hand side, on top, below the trees, you have a larger space there. So there could be a hawker zone there along the street, like I showed you the images right in the beginning. And then we gave them the dimensions. Oh, I missed this. There were some more slides here which I missed. So then we had a public meeting. We presented this to the client. They said, this is all fine, but well, let us see what to do. But they are not in for it. He said, if we tighten this whole street, people will be able to cross. Let us have a zebra crossing and red light. Unfortunately, those slides have gone into hidden. So fair enough. Then we have this another medium that we use now. Can you see this video? This is the way we take a video of a street. And we demonstrate to the people that this is the only space on a street that is being used for vehicles. Rest is parking and pedestrians. And that is how we build up our theory. This is in PCMC. The time is there. It is the evening time of 7 p.m. Peak hour traffic. And then there's another video of the same street. And this was in way back in 2013, almost 9 years ago. And then we make views like this. Now comes architectural composition. You know, our what you call expertise. And then we build this up. To rickshaw is at a particular spot, two-wheelers are at a particular spot, there's more parking provided. I will show you how we build this up. Now, guiding principles in the public realms are 6 of them. Number 1 is universal accessibility. This is the main act that we use. Universal accessibility gives us the advantage of making a footpath at one level. And once you put in universal accessibility, this is all the benefit that you get. Your wheelchair can move, your blind can move, your trolleys can move, your pram can move, and also your shopping cart. The second one is walkability at continuous surface that we discussed. Continuous surface, footpath at one level, uninterrupted movement, safe and segregated walkway, which will get us health, comfort, social interaction, and connect between people, reduce vehicle strips on the right-hand side that I've written, pollution, chaos, and conflict. This is point number 2. Point number 3 is parking. This is very critical. We must provide for parking, but it cannot be inclined parking. Can you see the left-hand side? If you give inclined parking, when you are reversing, you may hit someone. So parking needs to be parallel. Parking needs to have count like this, like it is there in the malls. And parking needs to be charged. It has to become a revenue model. You have to pay for every 1 hour of parking. Parking cannot come free. Hawkers and vendors policy. I showed you some slides of the mall and everything. Why can't our street have this kind of painted tiles where a hawker is given a space and that is his space? And there is a movement space. So this is the way the hawkers have to be organized. The fifth one is cycle network. Can we provide a cycle network? I will not go deeper into it. There are these 4 kinds of cycle networks that can be done, which is called dedicated cycle track, demarcated painted cycle lanes, calming measures, and greenway cycle tracks. Maybe we can take this up in the question answers. And sixth one is neighborhood shuttle. Now this is very common in Mumbai. You have a railway station and you have rickshaws which work like shuttles to bring in 1 to 2 kilometers up to the station. So in neighborhood you can have shuttles which share and which also reduces your taking out private vehicles. So these are these 6 principles on which we started design. I will only show you 2 streets and 2 areas that we have concentrated on. The first one on the right-hand side is the famous JM Road and FC Road of Pune, on which we worked for almost 2 decades. And recently it has been executed. The final design is not done by us, but the broader policy has been done by us. Then on the left-hand side that you see is Aund. And you can see these 9 streets of Aund, and I will take you to the journey of these 9 streets in detail. So these 9 streets and the Aund journey starts in 2009. So how many years you can make out? So that is our stage 1. So then we have stage 2 at 2014 and stage 3 in 2016. So the stage 1 starts with this advertisement. This is a simple advertisement which was put up, which said 1 crore परिसरातले नागरिकांसाठी रस्त्याचे सौंदर्यीकरण प्रकल्प, beautification of street. It all began here. And we told the local corporator, dear sir, why don't you do it the way we are explaining? हमारी तरह करो, people will be happy and it will give benefit to the neighborhood. So we had a meeting with the local corporator, and this is my living room. You can make out who is the corporator. You can see who are the citizens. There are some citizens. I am also there, and one of my architects, and we presented this scheme to them. When this was happening, we were told by the city engineers and corporators that the tender is ready, the contractor is waiting to execute the work. And we said, fine, we will help him and we will guide him. So we started the next day, and it was a Saturday, to be very, very precise. I remember it is a Saturday, 13, 14 years ago. We started with the marking like this on the street. We took the chuna and we started the marking. What we did was, we had people participating, the engineers, the citizens, all having chat with us. And this was the plan. Now, look at the bottom slide. On the left-hand side, there will be some band which will now move. You can see the black band which moved from left to right. So this is around 500 meters, half a kilometer. And right-hand side is a junction called Parihar Chowk, and there is left-hand side is Anand Park. What we did was, the width of the street was kept common. So on the left, it is 7 plus 7, 14 meters, right also 7 and 7, 14 meters. We joined it like a pipeline. And if you see the upper slide, you can see 7 plus 7. And then you see on top, you can see some trees. We saved all those trees. And we told them we will not touch these trees and we will create an urban plaza. Below the trees, we will make sitting for the people. We said, can we do sitting? The contractors and the engineers told us, sir, we don't have item for the sitting. Sitting ka item nahi hai. We said, you have brickwork and plaster? They said, yes, we have brickwork and plaster. We said, don't worry, we'll make sitting out of it. So we started, and both sides there is parking also, 2-meter parking. So the work started. Can you see this? There are trees on the left hand side. And this is the street, the way it looked. And we put these chalk lines, and then we converted this into this. You can see the sitting, brickwork and plaster. For 6 to 7 years, it remained like this. And we created this street. Now, when we did this street, there were many questions raised. In my own society where I stay, they said, oh, you have seen kitna bada footpath bana rahe hain, corporation ke logon ka dimag kharab ho gaya hai. This was the discussion going on in my society. So we didn't bother much. We continued, we made this, and then it became a hit for the people. Many people come and sit over here, and today it is transformed further, which I will show you. Because obviously the brick and the plaster got deteriorated after 5-6 years. 5-6 years is a long period for this kind of a brickwork and plaster to stay. But this space is reclaimed for pedestrians. And this is the way this space was used. Everybody was happy. People were happy. The politician was happy. Politician is happy because if people are happy, hopefully he will get all the votes. So this is safety, this is shade, and this is society. All three incorporated. And all that I discussed in the beginning with you, one by one, point by point, we are trying to incorporate in design. So this is happening. Now footpath is at one level, okay friends? And this is the feedback from the citizens. Finally, people are important. This is the feedback from the truck people who are parking there. Today also they park. Some know me very well and they keep on saying, truck walo ko park karne nahi denge. These days are not right things. They say, what is not right? During the daytime, there is no cars there. Let them park, and they are eyes on the street. And these people were watering the trees there, taking care of the streets, and they were acting like eyes on the street. This is the way the space was being used. Second stage started in 2014. After having done half a kilometer, we said, we will do a workshop. Streets for people, by the people owned. Lokancha Sati, Lokancha Sahbagaatun, Rastyacha Vikas. So this workshop was led by PVP College of Architecture, along with NGOs like Samnet India, Prasanna Desai Architects, West Owned Welfare Association, Jyesht Nagrik Sangatana, Wireless Area Management Forum, Owned Vikas Mandal, Pune Municipal Corporation, everybody together. And we said we will expand it to the neighborhood, the map of the own ward. And then we started having discussions like this. This is the same street, a big tree, and this same tree we are now converted further. You can see the students, some faculty members. And with the help of students, we had this citizens engagement like this. Discussions with senior citizens, engagement. And then we put up an exhibition on the street that we had designed after 2 years. So you can see this street exhibition. And the exhibition is not put up in a art gallery inside. It is right bang on the street. And you can see a kanat lagaya. Kanat समझते हो शादी के अंदर जो होता है वो कपड़ा के साथ में बैम्बू के साथ में kanat लगा दिया और ऐसे ही exhibition लगा दी. People coming and going started looking at it. What is this? हमें तो pedestrian करना है, लोगों की safety करनी है, पेड़ बचाने हैं. These were our points. And then we had this interaction, and then we had this sabha. Public realm, if you want to work, then you must take people on board. Without people's participation, it is not possible. You have to take people into confidence. And then we had a resolution, then we had some clap. And this happened in 2014. It came in the newspaper, for the people, by the people, wow. But nothing really moved. Nothing really moved for 2-3 years. Then came what is called in 2000 cities, called Smart City Mission. And we had a very dynamic commissioner, and he said that we must do some quick win projects. So you can see the brochure at the left, Smart City Mission quick win projects for Pune. And look at the brochure, multi-story buildings, look at the sea of the road. We told the Honorable Commissioner, sir, can we change the brochure cover? Let us depict something that we are trying to do. So we suggested to them this right-hand side cover. Though this cover did not finally happen, they did change the left-hand cover. And I don't have the slide of the what cover they used, but they changed the left cover. The cover doesn't have that kind of a thing. Now, smart city has these three things called PAN city, area-based development. So we worked in the area-based development with these policies: people, policy, participation, platform, and patience. In these kind of projects, you require tremendous patience, friends. You have to be very patient. You have seen our journey, 20 years. And we had this key plan and we concentrated on OUND, which was the area-based development. And we told the Honorable Commissioner that rather than doing one street, which is a quick win project, we will take up these 9 streets. So you can see the streets, the red street, the blue street, the orange, yellow street, etc. You can say S1 to S9 is the name. And we are developing these streets one by one. The strategy is design, discuss, and demonstrate. And these were all the elements that I discussed right now. We said these are our policies, so which I will not go into the detail: walkability and universal accessibility, cycle friendly, hawkers, all that I mentioned to you. Then obviously services, water supply, MSCB, drainage and all. Then street furniture, signage, public art. I will show you what we did. Then character, facade, material, texture. And then the design proposals were done. And these are the plans which we made with options, alternatives. So the bottom what you see is parking on both sides. The red that is marked is parking. Yellow is footpath. And what you see in the gray is the road, that is the street. And there was a parallel street on top. So we had a proposal in which we had parking on both sides. And this was the way, this was their street. And we proposed that this is the way it could be. Then we had another proposal where we said that on the left-hand side, we'll make a complete plaza, and right-hand side, there will be a one-way street. And we did this, and then we went into public discussions. What we designed, we took it to people. And these are the kind of meetings we had in big auditorium. You can see that. Then conference room at the bottom right. Middle right, discussions on the street with the citizens. You can judge the mahal. People are very excited. What is happening? And we had to take a lot of blunt listening from the people. We had to take. And we had to be patient. This is a discussion with the Honorable, MLA of that particular area, city engineer. And the project was then launched on 25th June 2016, the first anniversary of Smart City. And we made a model. We made a street model. And this was launched by none other than Honorable Prime Minister. And you can see the Union Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu and the Honorable Commissioner on the right-hand side, looking at the model. Then we did a trial run. We said that we will close the street on the left-hand side. We said we will do a trial run. And then we again had public discussions with shopkeepers, citizens, Honorable Deputy Commissioner, and we named this whole project as Healthy Aund Ata Aple Angan. All of you understand Marathi. If you don't understand, it's not very complicated. It's Hindi. Healthy Aund Ab Apna Angan. And then we created these posters. It is Healthy Aund. Healthy means habits, ecology, amenities, lifestyle, technology, heritage, and you. The you is important. That is in red. Because it's the people who are the most important. And we put them right in the forefront. And then we had these kind of invitations. We made all that in our office. CE, Center for Environment Education, helped us. Many NGOs helped us. So these are all these posters, U-turn in mobility, 11 number bus that I explained to you, DB Road Walking Plaza, improvements in Aund. And then we introduced something which was this shuttle service called Udan. What was Udan? Udan was a shuttle service like this, which we said that this is green, orange, red, purple and yellow shuttle service, which will move clockwise and anti-clockwise. It will look something like this. And it will have a signboard like this, all designed at our office. And then we put up these signboards there and we said that it will look like this. And we tried to introduce this in. And then there was a 1 week trial run, Saturday to Saturday. And on the trial run, we closed this street. This whole street was closed. And this is the way the people use the street. I don't have to explain. You can just have a look at the street, the way people use the street. So Stapu there, children with tricycles there, small children with skating, wheelchairs were back, handicapped people were back, senior citizens, cycles, and Udan. This was our Udan. We could manage this as a Udan, and this was the most successful thing. We made those stickers. Can you see the stickers? The red sticker there. So that is the red Udan. The left one is the yellow Udan. And these are the happy faces. Having completed the 6 days, this is where it ended, and we thought that, okay, let us move ahead. And then the process of implementation started. We again did an audit. We came back again to what we want to do, what are our principles, and we again went to public discussions. You can see this again, public discussion. Then right inside top, the raised hands being made. Okay, we all agree to this. And in this public discussion, finally with police, traffic police at the bottom, you can see the big meeting with the police in between. We came to this design. Now comes pure architecture and urban design. You can see this yellow at the bottom. The top is the plan. The yellow is the footpath which was there, and people were going up to the shop there. So we said we will not close the whole street. We will have vehicles both sides. We will have parking on both sides, and we will have the yellow. But what we'll do is that we will widen the yellow, and we will take the yellow right till the doorstep. Widen the street. That means take out the boundary walls which are there in front, because this was all a commercial street. So I will show you the images later on, which we will tell you. So what you see this street is the MD lane is 6, and then there is parking of 2 meters. Then you have the footpath, and we took the footpath right till the property line. The yellow was extended right till the shop, right till the shop. So we had a wide footpath on both sides, 6 meters wide footpath. We put in the services below, and then we got this whole thing signed from the commissioner and the engineer and all to authenticate that this is what we are going to implement. And this is what was the agreed. And these were the elements that we put in. Hi, Ananya, do we have time? Can I go slow or fast or close?
So you can go the way it is going. It's all right.
It is okay?
Yes,
Saturday evening is not getting hampered, no?
No, definitely not, sir.
So, raised pedestrian crossing. First element of absolute design. This is the way our speed breakers are. In all the streets. So where you jump, at times you skid. Speed breaker causes 30 crashes and 9 deaths a day. So we said we must redesign this. How do we redesign this? We had this whole idea of putting cobble. You can see this diagram. There is a cobble there, and then they raise pedestrian crossing. What is it? It is a stone like this. So this stone will bring down the speed, and we put the stone on through the street like this before the raised crossing. This automatically reduces the speed of the vehicle. You slow down because my own father or my own son is crossing. So instead of this normal speed breaker, this became like a speed breaker, and this is the way we implemented it. Now it has become common in the city of Pune to use this kind of a speed breaker, which is called cobbled speed breaker. So you raise and pedestrian walk at the 6 inches above level. Median divider. Dividers are like this, concrete dividers on both sides, or the steel dividers. By mistake, if a motorcycle hits this concrete divider, what will happen here? I hope he is wearing a helmet. If he's not wearing a helmet, again safety. So we said we have very strong objection to these concrete dividers. So we said that we should not have these kind of dividers. Then what kind of a dividers should we have? We should have dividers like this. ये ऐसे कैसे होगा? ये तो उगने में बहुत टाइम लग जाएगा. हमको बिल्कुल ऐसे टाइम लगेगा, कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन ऐसे करेंगे. So we had a very good engineering team which we were trying to convince again and again. And we said we will do this. But they said that till it grows, people will cross and all. We said, yeah, that is the point. So if by the time this becomes green like this, so we said we will put a fence like that in between. And this is what we did. Can you see this? So the curb is only 6 inches. There is a fence in between and there is a green on both sides. Now this is when we planted it. This is when it grew. And this is what it was in the lockdown. You can see this. This is where it started. This. So what a green can do to a street. Now, obviously, it is trimmed. It is coming too much into it. But in lockdown, when the air was so pure and there is no traffic, this is the way it grew. Like, next is bollards. So now this we are trying to almost do it at all the streets. The green barrier. Okay. Now next come bollards. We have been using stainless steel bollards like this. Can somebody tell me what is the problem with these stainless steel bollards? Anyone?
So they are merging with the road color.
Sorry?
So they are merging with the
merging with the road. Oh, that is there. Okay, what else? Very simple, common understanding by anyone?
Sir,
Yeah.
you can continue, Sanjeevani.
Gauri?
They become hot during the summer
They
season.
get hot during the summer. बड़ा वो करेगा क्या वो चटका देना हाँ क्या मोटरसाइकिल सारे को.
Sir, it may even glare like chalte
Glare.
हुए like. Yes, sir.
Sanjeevani, Gauri, yeah. Anybody
Yes,
else? Anybody else? Stainless steel. Stainless steel. In a public street, when you are doing some work, you have to be very careful of something. Do you know what it is? Anyone? In a public realm, it's not a private realm. Anyone?
So vandalism.
Yes? Yeah?
So vandalism.
Vandalism, exactly. Can you tell me, Saili?
So basically, there are many people who use these spaces. So the things we create on those spaces should be more like strong to uphold the wear and tear they can face in a public space.
ठीक है, लेकिन वैंडलिज्म का एक और भी कोई पॉइंट है. मेरे को लगा आप तुम वो उस पे हिट करने वाले हो सीधा. Anyone else? Anyone else? ये सोचना बहुत जरूरी है. कोई भी 40-50 लोग तो अभी होंगे, शायद 70-80 के पता नहीं कितने लोग हैं ऐसे में. नहीं क्या होगा स्टेनलेस स्टील का? नहीं
Some people might just uproot them and I mean they might use it to just sell it, and I guess.
Of course they will do that. Of course they will exactly do that. They will cut it and go and sell it. Stainless steel is an expensive material. So what do? So you have to make rugged things. So this is a concrete bollard. Concrete ko kaun tod ke nikal ke leke jayega? Zero value. So this is what we introduced, and this is not that we have done a great research. This is done all over in Delhi and particularly in Delhi. And these are the concrete bollards with the reflectors. So this is another element that we changed. And now it is completely changed. No stainless steel bollard is used in Pune anymore. Okay. Tree gratings. Can you see the trees the way they are treated over here? We talked about it earlier. And when we go to Hong Kong, Singapore, London, here, there, we see all these things like that. But why not in our own India? Not really difficult at all. Yes. So we manufactured these. And now this has become an absolute routine in Pune. Wherever we are working, people from all over the country are coming and seeing these streets, and they are repeating all over India. So this is the way the tree gratings are. And these tree gratings are not made out of steel. If you make them out of steel, again, they will be stolen. And look at the patterns that are emerging on the ground. So our office people at the time, the contractors, once we tell them ki अरे यार थोड़ा जगह छोड़ के tree gratings बिठाना, वो बराबर जगह छोड़ के, and you can see the spacer in between, the way they have used the spacer to widen the size of the circle in the center. So this is what is flexibility, and this is what we design. Now that is tree gratings. Now we come to another interesting area called sittings. पेड़ होगा तो पेड़ के साथ में बैठने को जगह चाहिए. और ये हमारे पेड़ के साथ में बैठने की जगह है। बढ़िया है ये। कौन कौन को लग रहा है ये बहुत बढ़िया है? लेफ्ट वाले को देखो, वो काट रहा है, वो उसका हाइट देखो, ये देखो बच्चा बैठा हुआ है, ये कितना ऊंचा है, वो चौरस है, वो पता नहीं, उसको तो पेड़ को ब्रीद करने को जगह नहीं है। तो हमने कहा यार इसको चारों तरफ बहुत अच्छी तरीके से मिट्टी छोड़नी चाहिए और अच्छी सिटिंग बनाएंगे हम। और हम सिटिंग किसमें बनाएंगे? एनी आइडिया? एनीबडी गेसेस किसमें बनानी चाहिए? Any guess by any student before I show the next slide?
Maybe the concrete again.
Sorry, yes dear.
So maybe the concrete again to avoid the steel.
Concrete to avoid the steel is fine. What else?
So maybe we can use mud, like it would be easier to breathe something.
Yes, Siddesh, maybe?
Mud.
Mud. Okay, mud. Mud may not mean it has to be durable. It has to be rugged, dear. It has to be rugged.
Stone.
Anybody
Maybe
else?
Stone.
Maybe?
Stone.
Stone says who? Shreyansh. Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, yes.
Shreyansh Dhanya. Yeah. Stone. What kind of stone, dear? Granite? Marble? Italian?
For coating we can use, yes.
For coating we can use Kota stone. Okay, you like Kota stone. Very good. Kota stone and granite maybe. Okay. Anybody else? So you do brickwork and put Kota stone. You saw our brickwork there, no? In the first design, we did only brickwork and plaster. Okay. Yeah, but it didn't last much, as I told you. Anybody else?
Basalt stone.
Sorry?
Basalt stone.
Basalt stone. Okay. Should I move ahead? This is what we did. This is the stone we used. Pure stone with 2 meter by 2 meter breathing space for each tree. Each tree 2 meter by 2 meter breathing space, for which we had to literally plead with the team members कि नहीं इतनी जगह चाहिए. नहीं इतना क्यों चाहिए? यार सांस लेने की चाहिए पेड़ के लिए. So this is what we did, and this is how it looks. This is how it looks on the street, dear. With each and every tree being given the dignity of being there. There are some 100 trees on the street and 60 species, and we have saved each and every tree. Today also, whenever we do any street or anything, we have almost plead with the contractor and everyone that you will not touch the tree. And we have been 99.9% successful. And we don't believe in transplantation of trees at all. We don't believe in them. We want to save the tree. So this is the way the street brickwork is, stonework, and you can see the people sitting and using this as a public space. This is how it is. Anybody who is from Pune or not from Pune, anybody seen this street? This is near Pariyar Chowk, DP Road, Brahman Chowk in Aund. Anyone? No one. So you are most welcome. This is what is called as feeder pillars. You know these feeder pillars? How many of you have seen this? You've seen these or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
They look beautiful.
No.
Not really.
What do you do with them? They are ugly. They are on the street, but they are needed. So we said, okay, we will relocate them and we will make a cage around them made out of perforated sheets like this. This is a perforated sheet. This is the cage. And we will do artwork on the street. Now, inside is the DV box or whatever it is, MSCB. And then we put greenery all around. So this is the way we change the realm of the street. Next comes parallel parking, which I have discussed earlier with counting. So we design parking like this. You can see in 2 meter there is a motorcycle, and in the same 2 meter there is parallel parking. This bottom numbers that we see we were not able to do, but we wanted a chip to be put at each parking space so that we can count the number of parking spaces. Maybe in the next projects we will do this. And this is the way the street parking is. It gets organized, absolutely organized. Then there is a cycle lane, which is a painted cycle lane. We may discuss this at the end, because this is a slightly long discussion why painted cycle lane, but there are different kind of paints. So we painted these cycle lanes and it does work to a certain extent. So cycles came in. Entry and exit, which I mentioned in the earlier street, up and down, up and down. So we put them at the one level. This up and down is all gone, and this is the way it is. What you see at the entrance is what is called at the Khan. You know, this is there, this turning, which is a 2 meter. And I will show you what we use it for. You can see the dustbins and the signage is there in that. So the dustbin and signages are not put in anywhere and everywhere. It is only at the entrances where you have these kind of turning buffers. We call them the turning buffers. So these are the dustbins which are exactly at the turning buffers. So now comes design and utilitarian. This is again nothing to do with beautification. Now this green looks good, is fine. We are happy. Signages. Just a minute. I need to take a phone call. Huh? So you'll have to just, I can't maybe put this thing on mute. This is what parallel parking is all about. Sorry, what happened? Next slide is not going. Yeah, universal accessibility. So this is the tactile, direction tile or a warning tile. So we have tactiles moving all around the footpath. Wheelchair accessibility is taken care of. So wheelchair is back. And once you do the footpath at one level, it gives you the benefit of the wheelchair. And that is the gap between the two bollards where you can see the man on the crutches is walking. And this one level footpath gives advantage for this luggage trolley to move. So you can pull your luggage trolleys on the footpath. So you don't have to use a Ola or Uber for a kilometer or so if all our footpaths are at one level. You can virtually drag your bag. And the next thing that, and this is the way the whole footpath is being used. People are dragging bags. And the other biggest advantage is this pram. The pram is back. And you can see the number of prams being used. So if you start making streets people friendly, this is how society starts using it. Lighting. You need to have excellent lighting on the streets, because if you don't have good lighting, then there is a danger of various kind of activities which may take place. So what you can see is, you can see these three young people sitting and you can see a black band there. This black band is where the electrical line is moving, and you can see the electrical pole there. So this black indicates that this is the point where electrical band is going. It is not again for beautification, the black band. So you can see the black band now there, and you can see the lighting there. And this is a night view. Art and sculptures. There was Pune Biennale Foundation, which had made sculptures during Pune Biennale, and they helped us paint this. And they helped us re-erect these sculptures which were there, done by Pune Municipal Corporation as a part of Pune Biennale Foundation. So this is a mother and child sculpture. So all these sculptures were located strategically at certain locations. That is the robot. We also put in stamp concrete, snakes and ladder near the toy shop. So we have improvised over a period of time. This was the first one which was executed. Now we are executing number of streets in PCMC in particular. And this is the way the color has faded a bit, but the game is still on. These are engineering team from Mumbai Municipal Corporation who had come to Pune to look at what we had done. Know your trees, as I told you that there are 50 species. So we said each species should have a board like this. And this can be a botany class for the schools which are around. There are some 4 or 5 schools on this street. So they can have a botany class, or a family is moving. If the husband is inside shopping, the mom can, or somebody can read this, the vice versa. It's a knowledge base. Know your trees. Urban lounge is what we call as the toilet. I will not elaborate upon this. This is not built as yet, but I hope one day we will be able to create this urban lounge, which will not be called a toilet, but it will be called the herbal lounge, So they are always blocking the footpath. So we are working on it, and this is what we designed. So let us see how it shapes in years to come. Bus stops like this, which are very sleek and they are not blocking the road. So this is what we designed. Urban design of street was that these are the gates which were there. And these gates were of different sizes, different shapes, different colors. We said, we will make it uniform. They said, you change these gates. So why should we change these gates? This is steel and we don't want to waste these gates. They are nice. So we numbered them, we put it together, we made a sticker like this, and we said we will put the gates like this. So there is a uniformity. That is the character of the street. And that is how it will look. Street ambience, now there are only images. We are coming to almost the fag end of this presentation. This is the way the street looks. This is the chit chat. More of a chit chat. There are some black and white archival photographs by Shreya Gadepalli. This is before and after, which could interest all of you. How was it before and how did it got transferred? This was before. You can see the Bank of Maharashtra. This is what it is now. Concentrate on the impress and look at the pavement at the bottom. And look at the impress and now look at the pavement. You can look at the trio shop has changed, I think. Blackberry, and look at the tree there and look at the dignity the tree has got in front of the Blackberry shop. This is another one, and that is the way the tree is being taken care of. Chaudhary Diagnostic and the tree, same before and after. Look at this one, Vision Express. This is the central photograph which we have, but we didn't have a very good photograph, but this is how it looks, but it is now absolutely green as I showed you. This is where we could get the boundary wall in. One thing I forgot to tell you, in all these cases, if you see the before, you know, the boundary wall is right in front. You can see the boundary wall is moved back. So whatever there was the boundary wall in front of the shops was demolished. And that space was taken as a part of the footpath. So that's how we got a wider footpath. And this is very critical to understand. So this boundary wall shifted and this is what it became. So here also you can see the change. The boundary wall shifts, which is in front of the shop. And this is one of the best ones. Can you see the boundary wall here? Near CRM, this boundary wall is gone. And that is how this whole footpath becomes wider. So we have not narrowed down the road. We have taken the space which was in front of the shops and made it as a part of the public realm. This is the Smart City Commission director from Delhi, commissioner, other dignitaries taking a walk. This is the complete execution team of engineers, project management consultants, city engineer, executive engineers, superintendent engineers. And that's from Pune Vinale Foundation, Ashwini Pete at the extreme left. These are the people who made it. Our office team member. Most of the people in my office, the senior most is less than half my age. And we have all absolute young people, young trainees. You can see on the left-hand side and the top and the bottom is all the laborers who did this. And most of this work was done on site. We did produce a lot of drawings, but it is day and night work on site. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, so these are some feedbacks. Streets are important public spaces that should be designed to respond to various functions that they host beyond being mere conduits of vehicles, says Kunal Kumar, the commissioner of Pune. This is very important feedback. You must read this. This is from my IS officer. I used to think that those who ask for footpaths and buses and control parking were foolish. Today, I have realized that I was foolish, not them. I now know what I must go back and do. This is one IS officer says in one of the training sessions, which was taken by Shreya Gadepalli in IS Training Academy. These are two archival photographs we have. I don't have to explain to you. The first one on top is at our old ITI footpath. We had the privilege and the honor of having him. When he said that, sir, would you spare few minutes to have a look at this urban space that we had designed. Not only he came, both of them got down from the car and looked around and commented. And the bottom photograph, again, I don't have to explain anything. This is recent post. He was Piskar when he was in Pune. He did come, and it all tells he clicking the photograph is the biggest honor that one can get. Now we are in the second phase where we have redone. If you can see this photograph on the left, this is no more the plaster surface. Can you see where the top photograph where Mr. Korea is? On the right hand side, you can see the brick and the plaster fading away. Now that has become this, again in stone. And that street now looks, again, having redone that, it looks like this. That brick plaster is now converted into stone. I will only run through the slides. This is the same street which was in brick plaster. And the sculpture that you can see is a horse. You know, this is a big horse which is there. Gratings, new gratings, wall paintings with selfies and all. That big tree where you saw me taking a class, this is the same tree which has an amphitheater around now. It has taken us 6 years to reach this. This is the way the gym has come in. The local corporator is extremely dynamic. And he gets this all gym equipment and he asks us, ki, sir, isko jara hamare ko batao kahan pe lagane ka hai. So we designed the space for him and he follows exactly what we tell him. So that we have been lucky with this corporator. So this is that horse which has become a selfie point. This is the horse. This is the way the public realm is. The same street with the brickwork plaster is now with stone. This is the way the lighting is. This is the way it is being used. Senior citizens, people walking, the pram. And what more do you want if kids use it like that? This is a skating track actually. So it is used sometime or it is used for cycling by kids. People use it for all kinds of things. This is our corporator who has put all these elements here, which has become a selfie point. These are the other streets. I will just 10-12 slides of PCMC, Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation, where we have done these 6 streets and they have got converted like this. They are not very high profile ones, but they are the utilitarian one. This is next to the D.Y. Patil College of campus in Akurdi station. You can see the people walking in the second slide on top. Bollards and finishing, which has now become a little better. Sitting of a, what you call, stone, which is ready-made, picked up and fixed. Percolation of water at the edges of the D.Y. Patil campus. Gratings of different kind. You can see the grating taking different shape. Now you can see a different gentry. You know, the DP Road is slightly very higher income group, where this is the middle income group and everybody using these seatings, youngsters, students, you can see on the left-hand side slides. This is the way the street looks after the painted cycle track, which we have been able to do very successfully. Not only we have been only able to paint, you can see the tree canopy and the street. How does it look? These are the junctions. You can see the junction, the way it is worked out. There is another junction. And cycles on the painted cycle tracks acting as safe space on the street. That is your space for a safe cycling. And this is my last slide almost. The left-hand side, you see the mother supporting the kid on a tricycle or a cycle. We only hope that this kid drives his cycle safely the way these 2 kids on the right-hand side are driving. And if one is able to achieve that, I think that is the biggest contribution that one can make in a neighborhood. And that is what I think we really need to look at. This has been our journey and the journey continues. And in the end, I would like to say that the depth of the democracy is decided by the width of the footpath in a city. Thank you. This was almost 2 hours, 10 minutes. If anybody has any questions, you are most welcome. I will stop shares. Let me see how many. Oh, 72. So we started at 74. Not a bad number. Not a bad number at all. And I don't know how many are sleeping. I would be very happy, very, very happy if you put on your cameras. And my friend, the what you call this team of Students Council can take a screenshot and send me a screenshot, because I love to be amongst young minds, that gives me the energy, young, because see, you are the next generation, you are going to bring the change. बदलाव आप लोग लाएंगे. मेरे ऑफिस में तो मैंने आपको बता दिया कि सबसे सीनियर मोस्ट मेरे आधी एज से नीचे है और सब काम करते हैं, जबरदस्त काम करते हैं, बहुत जबरदस्त काम करते हैं. I think we have almost 3 people from Mumbai. One is from Kamala Raja. There is one person who is from Kamala Raja. One trainee is from Kamala Raja. There's one girl from, I don't remember the college. She's from New Mumbai, Navi Mumbai somewhere. And we have had 2 more people earlier. So currently we have 3 people from Mumbai. One urban designer from Pillai College with a BR from somewhere else. So yeah, so this is all. And if you have any questions, just a minute. This is not escaped. So hi, hello.
Yes, sir.
I'm there, no? So
yes, sir, you're there. Yes.
That I did something. Okay, now. Okay, fine, fair enough. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. That was an extremely informative and interesting presentation. Also, unfortunately, Mishra sir was stuck in some prior work, so could not join us. We're now open to questions from our audience, and people joining us from the Facebook live stream can just post their questions there and we will pick it up for you. I also request everyone asking questions to keep your cameras on.
Yeah, keep your cameras on. It looks good. Means for 2 hours I didn't ask you, but it would be good to see whether you have swollen eyes, whether you have sleepy eyes, whether you have alert eyes. I can see some alert eyes. Whether you are smiling or we have got substantially bored that Saturday evening में क्या इतना लंबा लेक्चर रख दिया ये स्टूडेंट्स काउंसिल ने. कोई प्रश्न सीधा अनम्यूट करो और पूछो. कोई वो मेरे को वो चैट बॉक्स वाला ठीक है कर सकते हो. अगर कोई बात करके नहीं पूछना चाहता तो टाइप करके पूछ ले. हिंदी, इंग्लिश, मराठी सगळं चालेल.
Yes, sir. So good evening, sir. My name is Aditi Sarodi and I had a question. So as each community has its own set of prerequisites and needs that an architect must tend to, so the scale of your projects across Delhi and Maharashtra and the magnitude of people being aided by them would in turn have a great influence on the architecture of the cities. So could you please share your experience as to how did the design approach vary in projects across different locations from the point of view of architecture benefiting its community?
The basic principles remain the same wherever, and the basic principles don't change whether you are in Pune, Delhi, Chennai, India, or anywhere else. Finally, it is for human beings. People walk. People want to reach their destination. People want to meet people. People want to be safe. People want to have shade. Climate does make a difference. But people make a big this thing about, climate. People walk in Indian conditions. We've been walking. It's not every time that we need shade. So people do it in Moscow also, and people do it in Amsterdam. People do it in Japan. But yes, local conditions, climate, social, these things do make a change. And what makes the biggest change is what is the space available. What you have to look at it is the space. When we are talking about streets in particular, it is the width, what is called as the ROW, right of way, property to property. Now that is always limited. We call that is the cloth. कपड़ा उतना ही है. तो उसमें आप इसको कैसे work करोगे, ये बड़ा trick होता है. And that is the biggest barter that you have to do. I use the word barter. So how much of, see, the biggest thing that you have to cater for is the car, the MB lane. Now, how much for the MB lane? How much for the parking? How much for the footpath? How much for the services? This is a big barter, and it keeps on changing from place to place, gentry to gentry, and also land use. So if you see the DP road, you have the shops, so you have a different realm. You saw the last slides that I showed you in PCMC, which were the DY Patil campus and all. There is a boundary wall of the campus, so that is a different realm. So the land use also changes the edge condition, and there is no standard design. There is no standard design fit for all. There is nothing called fit for all. I always give this example. It's like a doctor. You can't say, means I may have also flu, somebody else will also have this flu, but the doctor will test everyone and give the medicine. Crocin hum le lete, aajkal Dolo lete hai. Dolo has become very popular. But finally you go to the doctor. So I call architects as the doctors of the city. And if we are going to become the doctors of the city, it has to be case specific, it has to be city specific, it is to be very, very focused. It cannot be generalized. So, and human behaviors, the kind of human behavior that is there, the kind of people, income groups around, the kind of transit that you need. So yes, it changes, and but basic human behavior remains the same. The first principles, if you concentrated, safety is for everyone, eyes on the street is for everyone, shade is for everyone, comfort is very much important. So it's the comfort and convenience. If you give them comfort and convenience, people will walk. I don't know whether I answered this. Aditi, which year are you in? Which year?
Second year.
Which city?
Mumbai, Navi Mumbai.
Navi Mumbai. Okay. So look at your Palm Beach Road. Look at the speed of the Palm Beach Road. I'm sorry, yaar, it is a killer road.
Yes, for sure.
I call it a killer road. I do travel there because I have my relatives in Seawood Estate. And I will share a very interesting example. These are my very close relatives. And when I was staying with them, he said, Jayji, this is wonderful. There is something called Happy Streets or something happening on Palm Beach Road, and you would love it. This was 5 years ago. I said, okay, let us go. So half of the Palm Beach Road was closed and it was pedestrianized, but it was done in a Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Look at it. I always say, right, can you do it on Monday morning? Let us do it on Monday morning. Wow. No. Monday morning, we can't do it. Too much of traffic. Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I said, fine. चलते हैं. वहां पे म्यूजिक चल रहा था, डांस चल रहा था, जुम्बा चल रहा था, बड़ा मजा सा, बच्चे खेल रहे थे. Everybody in a very nice mood. 10 o'clock, everything was over. The police and everybody said, now the thing is over, Happy Street or whatever. And now we are all, I said, chalo, chalte hain. What did I observe? Can somebody tell me? And I'm sure you must have also observed. The people who were cycling on the street and बड़ा अच्छा माहौल था. तो ये जो लोग साइकिल कर रहे थे वो आए, उन्होंने अपनी साइकिल उठाई, इनोवा के ऊपर साइकिल डाली, इनोवा में बैठे और अब इनोवा चला के घर जा रहे हैं. So what are you trying to do here? We are trying to do Sunday आओ साइकिल खेलते हैं. This is what is happening. So every Sunday IT people, with due respect to them, चल रहे साइकिल चालवायला जाऊया. आदमी 15 किलोमीटर साइकिलिंग केली, मी 5 किलोमीटर साइकिलिंग केली. मला सांगा, all of you, how many of you cycle to your school, dear? I'm sure your generation, not even 10%, because your parents did not send you on bicycle because it was very dangerous to go on the bicycle. So you went by the school bus or your parents dropped you. My generation, we walked to the school, we cycled to the school because it was safe. So until unless it becomes safe, I will not send my kid on a bicycle. This is my own case. My elder son went to Loyola in Pune on a bicycle. My younger son did not go on bicycle to the school because the Baner road, which is a major arterial road, was widened by that time and it incurred into high speed. So these are very simple things which are there until unless we get safety. So this Sunday to Sunday cycle is a big thing. So we are doing cycling. What are you doing? Are you going for a coffee on a bicycle? Are you going to, is Soham going to Vishal's house on a bicycle? No, he goes on a motorcycle. That is how it goes. No? So are we walking to the friend's place? So I think that is what is very important, and that is what should happen. And currently there is a big fad of Sunday cycle khelte hain. That was not your question. Because you took me to Navi Mumbai and you took me to Palm Beach Road, so I had to relate these stories. Anybody else? Just a minute, give me a little minute. I will put on the light. I am in a dark zone. No? Yeah. Yes. Anyone else?
Good evening, sir. My name is Soumya Kenkare, and I have a question.
Just tell me the year and where do you stay?
So I stay in Dadar, Mumbai, and I'm from first year.
Where in Dadar? Which side of Dadar?
So I stay near Shivaji Park.
You stay in a... क्या बताए? चलो आगे बताओ. हाँ.
So, sir, as we all know that Pune as a city has provided a lot of scope for development and urban planning. But if we talk about a city such as maybe Delhi, then it has been planned a lot of times before. So my question was that how do architects actually adapt to serve like different communities from the point of view of participatory planning initiatives?
Architects need to adopt. Architects have to get into participatory planning initiatives. Architects are not in a participatory planning initiatives, dear. They are on the periphery. We are very much in the periphery, we are not into it. Means, yes, the things are changing. Let me tell you, things are changing. Many young architects, and there is a huge movement of participatory planning. And I'm sure and confident that this will change in your time. You have some 40 years of practice minimum. You are all around 20 years of age. So सरकारी उम्र 60 की होती है रिटायरमेंट की. दोषी साहब 80 तक काम कर रहे थे, 90 पे अभी भी किताब लिख रहे हैं. तो ये चेंज होगा participatory planning. And participatory planning has to start at the neighborhood level. You cannot really start jumping at the city level anywhere. So if you want to really get into participatory planning, get into Shivaji Park. Get into Shivaji Park participatory planning. That is the best way to do it. You know your friends, your friend whose father would be a politician, so that uncle would know you, and there is an uncle, isko jara acha karte hain na. So this is how we did our first street. I went to this politician when he had put in the hoarding. I literally told him कि I want to come and meet you. उन्होंने मेरे को उसका अपने पेट्रोल पंप पे बुलाया. मैंने कहा 1.5 घंटा मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन सुनो. तुम सुनना चाहते हो नहीं सुनना चाहते हो मेरे को नहीं पता, सुनो मेरा प्रेजेंटेशन. And then I had to tell him virtually this कि सर हम जो कह रहे हैं ऐसे बना दो, इलेक्शन जीत जाओगे, नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन जीत जाओगे, वोट्स विल बी योर्स. किसको खुश करना है? सीनियर सिटीजन्स को खुश करो, बिकॉज दे आर द बिगेस्ट वोटर्स. यंगस्टर्स को खुश करो. और खुश करने का मतलब क्या है? मेक देयर लाइफ हैप्पियर. सो I think participatory planning in any city is possible, provided you start interacting with people. In Pune in particular, anywhere, there are NGOs which are most active. But architects are not associating themselves with NGOs. There are only 2 architects which I knew of in Pune when I shifted to 30 years ago who worked with NGOs. And we are being told sometimes, we cannot be activists. I'm sorry, dear, architects need to be activists also. He has to be an activist. If he is not going to become an activist, then I don't think we can improve the cities. To improve the city, we have to take to activism. Activism का मतलब झंडा काटना नहीं है. Activism का मतलब लोगों को समझाना और because see, you have what is the tool you have? You are in first year, you said. You have this tool of presentation. You have this tool of model making. You have the tool of making views and sketches. Model is the biggest tool. You saw our street model. That was the street model with some Modi also stood for a minute and looked at कि अच्छा ऐसी street बनने वाली है. So I think we have a big role to play, and we must play that. And the practice of architecture moves from interior to bungalows to builders, townships to public realm. You decide where you want to be, factories. Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing, isn't it? And with 400, 500 schools of architecture and 40,000 architects passing out each year, people are saying, where are jobs? There are plenty of jobs here. There's plenty of work. I don't know whether job, but there is plenty of work. So I think if it interests you, you get into it. I hope I have answered to a certain extent what you intended to
Thank you
ask.
so much.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. My name is Gauri Manish Raut from second year and I live in Mira Road, Mumbai. So my question is not directly related to roads, but it's like recently, as in Mumbai, the slum rehabilitation housing has been facing threats of being deserted due to the lack of socio-physical livability. And like we have seen that some of the people, like maybe 1 out of 10, they suffer from respiratory diseases due to like not proper designing of this rehabilitations of the like slum area. So like these buildings are cramped together with no consideration given to like light or ventilation or like anything a good design should include. So if we were supposed to ask like what good design guidelines should be followed to design for such people and like less costing, so what would you suggest for us?
You are opening a Pandora's box of a question, dear. And I think your student council should call me again once to present our slum rehab projects. You can go on to our Facebook or I don't know, Instagram or Facebook, whether we have uploaded it, but we have this. We have been working on slums also parallelly. And we have been working and looking very closely at SRA and very closely at another scheme called Basic Services for Urban Poor. And you are absolutely right that the solutions, some of the solutions which have been adopted are not very conducive to good, healthy living conditions. So now this is again a very different topic of discussion, but you are correct. And the point is that till such time, if we want to keep profit as a focus, then we are going to end up in a mess up. And there are studies from IIT Mumbai and everywhere that these SRA schemes which have been built, which are 10-story, 20-story high, I don't know whether the lifts work there, whether water supply works there, whether people go up and down there, and they are so close to each other, so they don't have daylight inside. So one of the studies conducted by IIT Mumbai told or has come to the consensus that there is no vitamin D. So the people there have vitamin D deficiency and people staying there have tuberculosis problem. Do you know the latest that I heard was that Mumbai and certain cities are having the cases of tuberculosis on rise because of unhygienic living condition. So we must understand cities need to be, what did I say right in the beginning? Health and hygiene. They were the words used. We need to have healthy cities. And that is what I think we need to define. Just adding floors and floors and floors and FSI is not going to solve the problem. We will have more congestion, more buildings shaking at handshaking distance with each other, with no sun rays, no sunlight. So instead of making a horizontal slum, we are making a vertical slum. We are making a vertical slum. So that is our problem. And that is where we need to really look at. So this is absolutely right on the dot, your question. And I hope there are some solutions to it. There are many solutions to it, but we can discuss some other time in detail. Any other question? I need to close down because I need to surrender my space to my better half because she has an appointment at the same place at 7 o'clock sharp.
Sure that there are many questions more, but sadly we're running out of time. And I guess by now we are ending our today's Manan here. Thank you so much, sir. We also hope that once we settle down in an offline college, we can call you again and also visit many of your projects. Any concluding notes from your side?
You are most welcome to come to Pune. Come to Pune and we are doing a public realm streets. Anybody can walk on them. You don't need any permission, no permission letter. You don't need any permission from the commissioner or anyone. You can sit on the street and chat. You can go around. Where to go around, my office can guide you. My mobile number is there with you. You can share my mobile number with any student. You can put it into the chat box. It is in the public realm. I am on the WhatsApp all the time. That is the best way to connect. And if you want to really visit these streets, I will put across somebody from my office who will take you around and show you and tell you there is no issue whatsoever. Mumbai is not too far away. And lockdown having gone, I am sure you are all itching to move around here and there. So you are most welcome to come to Amchi, Pune. But I am a hardcore Delhiite, let me tell you. I am a hardcore Delhiite, so I love Delhi. So there are many stories on Delhi which we can share some other time, maybe below a big huge tree in your campus or a tree below in Pune. Okay, so and keep contributing to the society. That is what I will say. And this girl Gauri, which she asked this question, we can discuss some other time. How do we do this? Health and hygiene is important.
Yes,
Absolutely
yes.
important. So can I take leave? Thank you
Yes,
very much.
thank you.
Bye bye, dear.
Thank you so much, sir.